On today's video, I'm going to be taking you on a neighborhood tour of Starview in Prosper, Texas, a brand new community right by the gates of Prosper. We'll be driving through the neighborhood so you can see exactly what the homes look like and get a feel for the area. I'll be highlighting the different builders here, including Britain Homes, Tradition Homes, and Highland Homes, all building on spacious 64 to 74 foot lots with prices starting in the $800,000 range. I'll also talk about what's coming to the surrounding area, what Starview is close to, and how the future growth of Prosper could impact this community. Along the way, I'll share what I personally like and don't like about Starview and help you decide if this could be the right fit for you and your family. So that makes sense.
Hey y'all, welcome back to another video today. You join me over here in Starview in Prosper, Texas. I would say like 3 to 4 months ago, I did a neighborhood tour through this area showing you guys what was coming in here. And at that time, I had mentioned 2 builders. There's actually gonna be 3 builders in here. I didn't see that Britain Homes was actually marketing anything at that time and saying that they were coming into Starview. So the 3 builders that we're gonna be going over today as we drive through this neighborhood, showing you guys the curb appeal because there's actually homes getting built in this neighborhood now. It's gonna be Britain Homes, Tradition Homes, and Highland Homes. All 3 of these builders I've worked with. They've been great to work with. That being said, I'm sure there's some of you watching this video that may have worked or heard about people that have built their house with one of these builders that maybe didn't have a good experience. So I'm just saying that for every good experience someone has with some of these builders, there is someone on the opposite side that also has a bad experience or not as good of an experience. But from my experience, on the recent closings I've done over the past year with all 3 of these builders, they've been fine to work with in my opinion. And not just the process of building the home has been good in my opinion, but after closing and how issues get handled from these builders have also been good too. I haven't had any of my buyers come back with any of these builders saying, hey Daniel, this builder isn't helping me out with these things, or this is what's going on with the house. Anytime something has gone wrong after closing with any of these builders, things get handled very well. So I do like these builders, not just because of their floor plans, not just because of their design, but also how they handle the closing process after and take care of their clients as well. So I did want to start the video off by saying that because I've had a lot of people coming in with comments, questions, sending me texts, giving me calls, and they'll be like, hey, I'm working with this builder, or I have a friend that worked with this builder, and we're running into these problems, and we didn't know that this was gonna happen. And I would say like 80 to 90%, not all of them, but 80 to 90% of the people that come in asking me questions about some of the problems they're having, and if it's standard about how things are being addressed, are typically not working with a real estate agent. So not saying you've got to work with a real estate agent, but I do find that a lot of people that are running into more problems are unrepresented, not working with a real estate agent. So once again, just something I wanted to start out with because I've just noticed this pattern of people contacting me, because it's kind of both sides. I have people contacting me wanting to work with me, and I have people contacting me who have already bought their house, they're under contract, whether or not they're represented by a buyer agent or not. They're kind of talking to me about their problems as well. And sometimes I can help some people out with some of the questions they ask. But anyways, back to Starview. In this neighborhood, it's going to be by the gates of Prosper. If you've been over in this area driving down Preston Road, you've kind of been seeing this kind of area on the north side of the gates of Prosper getting developed out. When I was in this neighborhood earlier, a few months ago, like 3 to 4 months ago, it had no houses in it. Okay, it was just getting started. All the land was getting graded. Now driving in the neighborhood, maybe it was even longer than that. It might have been like 8 months ago. Now that I'm starting to think about it, because there's no way they put up that Tradition home, that model home, within 4 months. So honestly, it might have been like 8 months ago I was in this neighborhood. I can't quite remember. I'm doing so many neighborhood tours, guys, but it's been a while. At least when I drove through the neighborhood, there was like not a lot going on. And now we can start to see kind of brick elevations, get a good idea on kind of the spacing of these homes. I do like the lot sizes. I think they're decent. I think the backyard spaces are going to kind of catch people off guard with kind of what they want, or they're going to be expecting a little bit more. But we'll go into the pros and cons. I'll talk about some of the prices in here, what I like, what I don't like. For this neighborhood, it is going to be zoned for Collin County. Tax rate in here is going to be 1.98%. It's going to be zoned for the City of Prosper tax, Prosper ISD, Collin County, and the Collin College. HOA in this neighborhood is going to be $500 per quarter, which is, if I do math right, that's $2,000 per year for not really getting a whole bunch of amenities and community things, not even really walking trails. At least for the first phase or 2 phases, they're not showing any type of amenities in here. I don't know if this is going to continue with 3 or 4 phases on the other side, kind of closer to downtown Prosper. There's still a good bit of land over in this area that can be developed out. There are some new parks and other multifamily and downtown Prosper getting developed out with stuff, but for right now, they've got 2 phases that are getting built. Their phase 1 has more of these 74-foot lots, and their next phase on the 64-foot lots actually is just now getting released by these builders. Tradition Homes just released their prices, which I'm happy I didn't release this video. I was going to release this video and come out with it like a week or 2 ago, but they were saying on their website that at the beginning of August, they were going to start releasing things for Tradition Homes, and they finally did, and I have some prices that I can talk about, so I'm glad I kind of waited a second before uploading this video. That way you guys could have that information. For Tradition Homes in here, they're going to be doing 64 and 74-foot lots. On the 64-foot lot product, you can do the 50-12 plan. That's a 3-bed, 3.5 bath, 2,980 square feet, starting at $869,000. And then you can build up to the 50-81 plan, which is a 4 to 5 bed, 4.5 bath, 3,948 square feet, starting at $1 million. There's 74-foot lots. That range is going to be on the low end. You can do the plan 60-11. That's a 4 bed, 4.5 bath, 3,611 square feet, starting at $1,099,000. And then you can do plan 60-61, which is a 4 to 5 bed, 4.5 bath, 4,608 square feet, starting at $1,214,000. For quick move-ins, on their website right now, they're ranging from $1.2 million to $1.5 million. Plat map on here is going to show yellow is going to be the 74-foot lots, purple is inventory, and red is going to be sold. So definitely check out their website to look at the plat map to get a better idea on which way the homes are facing, how big their homes are, where they're located within the neighborhood. Highland Homes, for their builds, they're doing 74-foot lots. It's going to range from the 272 plan, 4 bed, 3 to 4 bath, 3,140 square feet, starting at $1,072,000. And then there is the 817 plan, 4 to 5 bed, 4 to 5 bath, 2 half bath, 4,789 square feet, starting at $1,301,000. And they have 10 quick move-ins on their website right now, ranging from about $1.3 million to $1,550,000. And some of these homes are going to be closing winter of 2026. I would say the build process right now for these homes is probably going to be about 8 to 10 months. Could be a little bit longer, but that's kind of the range I would put it in. And for the plat map on Highland Homes, yellow is going to be the available home sites, orange is going to be the quick move-in, gray is going to be sold. And then for Britain Homes, they have 64-foot lots coming on their website, but they hadn't updated their website for prices right now, so hopefully soon we'll see that. Total lot sizes in here for that square footage for the whole lot is going to be 10,000. For those 74-foot lots, they're going to have a depth about 135 on the homes, but since these homes have such a big footprint, I mean, my goodness, you're building almost a 5,000 square foot house. Even though it is a 2-story, it's still going to take a good bit of that footprint, so some of these backyard spaces are not going to be as good as maybe some other ones. Maybe there's some good ones on the perimeter of the neighborhood with some of those homes, but some of the houses with the interior lots that have the neighbor right behind you, I feel like those lot sizes, or at least for the backyard, won't be as good. School district in here is going to be Prosper ISD. That's going to be zoned for Rucker Elementary, Reynolds, and Prosper High School. Commute times out of here, down to Dallas is going to be 45 minutes. DFW Airport is going to be 31 minutes. Frisco is going to be 13 minutes. Fort Worth is going to be an hour away. The nearest grocery store is going to be 6 minutes away, and the nearest hospital is going to be 10 minutes away. And for the things I like and don't like about this neighborhood, pros and cons. So for the good things about this neighborhood, you're right next to the gates of Prosper. Okay, you could literally walk over to the shopping. Now, I would assume majority of the people going shopping in these areas are not going to be walking to the things, but I mean, you could walk across the street to the Starbucks if you want to. There is a road splitting where this neighborhood is in the gates of Prosper. So you're not like right behind the gates of Prosper. There is like an actual road splitting this neighborhood from that development, but you could walk to these areas. There is some more stuff getting built over here. I think they're on like their phase 3 for the Gates of Prosper right now. So they're definitely more towards the end of building out the Gates of Prosper. There are still some more commercial things coming to the area. I would still expect more mixed use townhomes to be coming in, or multifamily to be coming into this area, especially maybe more around the downtown area. But that downtown Prosper area is also going to start getting a little bit more revitalized, is what the city's calling it. It's going under a revitalization. I feel like all the downtown areas, McKinney, Frisco, Salina. They're all going through some revitalization aspect of what they're doing right now, just because so many people are moving out to the area. They're having to go back into kind of these sore areas to look at, especially with all this money being dumped into here. I would expect these downtown areas to start looking really good within the next 5 to 10 years. But you're going to be really close to not only the gates of Prosper, but you also will be close to downtown Prosper as well. So you're in this like hot area, which is going to be reflected in the price points, right? But really good spot to be in. Some of the houses more towards the east side of the neighborhood, they are going to not necessarily back up to Preston Road, but they are going to be pretty close to Preston Road, where I would assume you will hear that road traffic, but it's not as backed up to Preston Road as some of the other neighborhoods like Cambridge Estates and what are some of those other neighborhoods? I'm blanking right now, but there's some other neighborhoods down Preston that really back up to Preston Road with some of those lots. This one's set a little bit more off Preston Road, but still really close, where I would expect some of those houses on the east side might hear some of that road traffic. The community is also within its phase 1 right now, but that phase 1 has 74-foot lots, so you are buying at the beginning of this neighborhood getting built out, but it seems like phase 1 is really the 74-foot lot. So if you want the bigger lot, this is the time to get in. If you're okay with going with the 64-foot lot and trying to get around the $1 million price mark, they're just now releasing into their phase 2. They'll be building out that here soon and releasing, I would assume, more lots, because Britain Homes doesn't have anything right now. So Britain Homes will have 64-foot lots, and also Tradition Homes will have 64-foot lots. I think both of those builders will be great to go with. It's also next to the elementary school. Now, this elementary school is the oldest elementary school within Prosper, so in that aspect, maybe not a pro, but I'll also say not a con, because this is a really good school district. You are really close to that, where, you know, you could just walk the kid to school, I would assume. I don't know if a kindergarten can walk themselves. Maybe a 5th grade. I mean, by the time I was in like 3rd grade, I think I was riding my bike to school. So at least by 3rd grade, you know, they'd be walking distance to that school right there, really close. So commute time for that would not be a problem. The middle school, the high school is going to be a little bit further away. The other things you're not going to be too far away from are the things outside of Prosper. So really close to 380. So you hop on Preston, you get on 380, you're on the Dallas North Tollway really quick. And then also, that means that if you're close to the Dallas North Tollway and the 380 corridor, means you're really close to the PGA Parkway, Fields, Frisco, and also where the Universal Studios is coming into. And I would expect the Universal Studios to be opened up within this next year, year and a half. I think they were saying like end of 2026, 2027. I mean, they're really coming along on it, so that's great. And also, guys, the Dallas North Tollway from Frisco leading into Prosper has finally fully opened up. Can we just get an applause for that? Can we just have a round of applause? If you know, you know. They have finally opened up so many lanes now, driving through Frisco into Prosper and coming back home or going north, south. They've opened everything up, so that is great to see now. It's not like down to 1 lane or 2 lanes with all this traffic and all this headaches that people are running into commuting out. So it's great to see that is finally completed, which is awesome. Cons in this neighborhood: even though it is into Prosper ISD, it's zoned for Prosper High School. I'm not saying Prosper High School is terrible, but I mean, you've got all these other new schools, Walnut Grove, Richland, all these new high schools that all these other new communities are being zoned for, especially at the $1.2 million range, or like even cheaper than that. But unfortunately, because of how close this neighborhood is to Prosper High School, and maybe this gets rezoned later, it's not like super close to Prosper High School, but I guess how they're having the zoning, this one is going to be into Prosper High School. Price point's also going to be very expensive. Now, you are going to be able to probably get under $1 million or right at $1 million with that 1-story house on that 64-foot lot, but that 64-foot lot is going to be a 3-bed. Would I pay $1 million for a 3-bedroom home over in this side of Prosper? Probably not. Would I pay $900K for a 3-bedroom home? Still probably not. I'd pay $900K for a 3-bedroom home way more south, like closer into Dallas, even if it was an older house. You're definitely getting priced out on more of a premium in this neighborhood because where it's located, the new construction and the builders in here, these builders are going to be on the top range compared to a lot of other builders around these areas. Also, not going to be a lot of spacing between the homes, even though they're on 74-foot lots or 64-foot lots, the neighbors are going to still be relatively close. So if you get some homes around the perimeter, you will have privacy on the backside of your home, but if you're getting the interior lots, most likely a home behind you is going to have a 2-story bedroom that's going to be able to see into your back patio. Not all of them, but I would say 50-50 on the privacy for some of these interior lots. And then there's not really a nature feel to this neighborhood, or at least not yet, or from what I'm seeing from the plat maps and things, not really a bunch of walking trails, not really any big trees, not a bunch of open fields. Maybe they're phase 3 or there are other phases going in here, but from what I've seen right now, they've got a phase 1 and a phase 2, and it's just a bunch of homes getting built in here, no other amenities. So you're paying $2,000 a year for really nothing else in the neighborhood besides really nice houses and being close to the gates of Prosper. Now there is another park being built over kind of on the northwest area of Gates of Prosper, so you'd be close to that. It's going to be a new Prosper Park. So you get some of that nature feel, and another thing to go out and be able to walk around with your family or get out of the house. But for the neighborhood itself right now and what I'm seeing, not going to be a whole bunch of amenities that they're going to be putting into here. So maybe that's more of a con for you, or kind of how you're going to view that, or at least how I see it, especially paying like $2,000 for an HOA per year. That's definitely on the more expensive side. You go over the Star Trail, Windsong Ranch, those neighborhoods with these builders, and you're still not paying that much. Or maybe you're paying just around that amount, actually around that $2,000, especially Windsong Ranch actually might be a little bit over $2,000, but you're getting a look. I mean, you can see all the different HOA, you can see all the different amenities in there. It's vastly superior than like what's going on in this neighborhood, right? And that's gonna do it for Starview. So if you guys have any other questions about building in Prosper, Texas, or with any of these builders, please send me a text or give me a call. I have all my information down below. Other than that, peace out, y'all, and take it easy as always. Thanks for checking out my channel and watching that video. I got more videos floating around here. If you're in the market to buy or sell real estate in the DFW area, contact me. I will be happy to answer any of your questions. Besides that,